You know, it's nice not to have any senior seminar.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
I think you all know Anne. She'll be covering the expedition for the witness.
Jesus, Steve, she'll scoop us. Do you think the Scientific American's gonna want our stuff after it appears in the Witness?
Neither rain nor snow nor sleet nor hail. He's got the mail.
Anne's not covering the results. She's covering us.
And Steve's covering Ann.
Everything is ready, my darling. Do not be afraid. Soon we'll be together again.
Hello and welcome to Hello, This is the Doom Show. I am Richard. I feel like I don't say Doom Show right. I feel like it's different every time I say it, but that's okay.
The correct pronunciation is Doomed.
Doomed Shoe.
Doomed Shoe.
Welcome to the show, Jeffrey.
Hi, Richard.
We are here on the eve of our discontent.
Yeah.
Wintry? No, it's still too hot for winter.
Sweaty discontent.
Woo! We're going to talk about Zombie 5, Killing Birds, Raptors of Death. What is it?
I think it's just Is it of Death, too? I thought it was just Raptors.
I think we need some also known as here.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Killing Birds, Zombie 5, Killing Birds Raptors, Zombie Flesh Eaters 4.
What?
Yep. Dark Eyes of the Zombie was apparently one of the original titles. Raptors, etc., etc.
Oh my god. So there's an alternate Italian timeline where they're discounting Dawn of the Dead as the first zombie, so it just starts with Zombie Flesh Eater. So all of the subsequent sequels get bumped back one. That's so obnoxious.
Well, thanks, England. I'm assuming that's a UK thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had the Zombie Flesh Eaters.
Oh my god. Well, to simplify things, we've come up with a short way of saying this title.
Oh yeah.
It is shit, I forgot it.
Very simple.
It's ZVKBR. There's some colons in there and a Roman numeral, but I think you'll probably be able to remember it better.
It's actually, if you spell it out and put it through a Google Translator into Russian, it actually spells out "First time using live sound, everybody."
Brian, you have a detailed map of Louisiana? There's a bad shit in the woods?
No, I seriously feel like this has got to be one of the first times live sound has ever been used in an Italian horror film.
Wow, actually, no, I didn't even realize that was the case, but you're totally right.
Oh boy. We're talking...
It actually does make quite a big difference, huh?
We're talking 1987 or 88, depending on who you believe. I believe that this movie was made the day I was born because it's perfect. Oh, I'm showing my hand. Oh, can't do it.
Spoiler.
Let's see, this is directed by a Claudio Lattanzi.
With assistance from good old Joe D'Amato.
Good old Joe D'Amato. Or D'Amato. I would say D'Amato.
I know, people do, but I like D'Amato.
Was it Aristide Massachesi? Or Massachesi? I'm not sure. I have not continued my Italian studying because, I'm not motivated.
Well, because it had to close. The Italian language school had to close down after all those murders.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Italian language school is like right next to the Spanish one.
Oh, snap.
They're very close.
The moon was very bloody that night. This movie starts with some army boots, a very, let's see, a very army-looking gentleman walking home, and apparently he's a bird hoarder.
Yes, I actually want to start with something a little bit before that even.
Oh shit, go for it.
The first thing we see, which is the credits. I like these credits.
Really?
Yeah. They're very intriguing credits. They raise a lot of questions for me. And I want to talk about those questions. Well, the first is an observation.
Okay.
This is a Filmirage film. That is the production company. This is one that if you are a fan of late 80s, well, I guess just generally 80s Italian horror movies, you have seen the Filmirage name in front of the film. Because it is Joe D'Amato's company.
Yes.
He produced all these films. Films like Anthropophagus, Absurd, Stage Fright, Ghost House, Witchery, Pieces, Troll 2 even.
Oh my God.
Lots of great stuff. And I was thinking about the name Filmirage, what that means and why Joe D'Amato decided to call his company that. And I think that it's because when you see the production company's titles, like on a theater marquee or on a DVD spine, and you approach them, you're sort of anticipating that what you're going to have is an actual film. But when you get nice and close, that possibility just vanishes, and it's too late to turn around.
So it's not a film oasis.
No, it is a mirage, my friend.
Nice.
So there's that. And then the title. I want to talk a little bit about the title of the movie. Because on screen it's Killing Birds. What does that mean to you? Killing birds.
Someone is going to kill birds in the movie, or birds are going to kill someone.
Yeah. Neither of those things is really true. It makes me think that this is going to be like an instructional hunting video or something. But it's not. So yeah, let's get back into things. We've got our military fellow arriving back in Louisiana.
Oh yeah.
I think that's how they say Louisiana in Louisiana. Louisiana.
Probably. They
I
probably
think
just
so.
call it L.A.
Oh.
La.
Yeah, la.
He comes in and he sees that his wife is not in bed with him, but is in bed with a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
And he immediately takes his knife out of his holster. I guess it's a knife holster or a nolster. And he slashes the guy's throat. He wakes him up and slashes his throat. And there's some great neck acting.
Oh, excellent.
They couldn't afford any spurting blood, so they just had to pour some blood on the guy's neck, and he had to gesticulate with his throat wildly, if that's possible.
Mm-hmm. And then some time passes, but not a lot of time.
Yep.
And the woman who is asleep in bed next to him, which is the military dude's wife, we are led to believe, wakes up to discover that her lover brought the jam jar back into the bed again. And then she flips out.
Because she's diabetic and she's jealous he's eating all the jam out of his neck hole.
She can't touch it. I mean, it'll absorb through her pores. All the sugar.
She'll have an attack of diabetes.
Diabetes.
Yeah, you can. It's awful.
Oh my God. My favorite thing about her reaction to him is that she immediately puts on her robe. She doesn't run out of there screaming. She doesn't grab a gun or a knife or a baseball bat or anything. She immediately puts on a robe and then calls for help.
Well, you got to keep decent.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, propriety before, safety.
This scene is without dialogue for the most part.
Yep.
It's like the first 5 minutes of the film even. Mm-hmm. And we're led to, we really got to figure like a lot of this out on our own. Because
we've inferred quite a bit already.
Yeah, the movie doesn't really help us. Like one thing we skipped over is the fact that this house is kind of like an aviary, like a real home aviary.
Oh my
on
God,
the front
there's birds
porch.
everywhere of all types.
Yeah, hawks and parrots and cockatoos. I don't know. And the military guy like pets a hawk at one point.
Aww.
It's pretty cute. He's a gentle soul, as we obviously see.
At least towards birds.
Yeah. So we're meant to believe, we don't know this now. We'll know it in a little while, and I don't know how it makes any sense at all, but the military dude is like a fucking bird researcher, but he's also part of the airborne forces.
Yeah, because birds like to fly.
Reason. I guess, is he fighting in Vietnam? That must be what
I think they mentioned later that he was a Vietnam vet.
Okay, yeah.
So he treated animals while he was in another country.
Sure.
Vietnam veterinarian. My favorite shit in this opening scene are the relatives. The relatives who are visiting, they've been taking care of the baby. Apparently, the woman is neglecting her child so she can get it on.
Exactly. That's so fucked up. Here, take the baby so we can have lots of,
So this weird schlubby guy and his wife show up with a little baby. And, oh my God, it's so amazing. The Vietnam vet throws his Rambo-style knife into the guy's head and right into his forehead. It's amazing.
It is the only really good and surprising death scene.
I did not see that coming.
No. It's because all we're going to get for the most part, well, I mean, we get some other things, but like a lot of throat slashings.
Yes,
the same thing again.
Very cheap.
Very. But
not the worst I've seen as far as throat slashings go. But pretty
certainly not. Certainly not. But this one it's great. And it's very tightly edited. Like you just see it for a second, the knife falling into his head, and that's it. We're done. These fucking relatives. I guess that's what they are.
Yep.
I mean, again, we're not told.
Exactly.
Just this weird couple with a baby.
He finally he kills his wife or the woman that we have not identified yet.
Right.
And there's some unfortunate naked baby we have to look at.
Yeah, we don't see it, but he circumcises the baby.
Oh.
That's what this whole scene is about.
Oh,
if you didn't know, I inferred that.
That's very good.
Yeah.
He goes back to clean up the blood of his crime that he's committed, and the birds get mad, especially the hawk, and they play that old fun game that birds like to play. Got your eye.
Who says caged birds don't know how to feed themselves when you let them out?
That's right.
Clearly they do.
Oh man, that was good stuff. That eyeball getting ripped out was pretty good.
My favorite part is when he's trying to clean up the murder scene, though. And he's just using the sponge, like very ineffectually wiping up the blood.
He's wiping the blood around, not up.
He's not. Yeah, there's no like bucket that he's like sponging it off, and he's just like spreading it around. I think he's like staining the floor, the wood floor. Like needs a new coat.
We see the now bandaged, because apparently the bird ripped out both of his eyes. Yes. We see the bandaged vet handing his baby off to a nurse at a hospital. We have no idea of anything. We still don't know anything other than, whatever. There's some cool fancy old cars, so we have to assume it's ancient times.
Yeah, of course. But so I'm confused here because he's being led away by police officers. Right. So, ostensibly, he's going to jail for murdering all these people.
You'd think.
You would kind of have to think.
Exactly. But he's not.
I don't think that happens. But if there's a possibility, even at this point, that he is a vile, dangerous, mass murderer at this point, why is he getting to hold the infant? That's fucked up.
Yep. This is known as mimes without makeup. This is a technique that Filmirage perfected.
And, I take it back. This is actually the first almost 10 minutes of the movie.
Exactly.
Nice. Very nice.
So we cut to Loyola, a university. I know it's Loyola because there's some cheap letters on the grounds of this university.
You know what? I don't think it is Loyola. That is hard, isn't it?
Yep.
Loyola. I think it's YOLO University.
Oh, shit. It definitely
pretty
is.
Clearly.
It's exactly what I imagined YOLO University would be like.
Well, we see it in our first scene there. We get a brief scene of our main character.
Steve.
His name is Steve. Who is he played by?
My favorite actor ever.
Timothy W. Watts,
who
has a very long career that consists of a movie called Killing Birds and a movie called Zombie 5 Killing Birds.
He also played himself in the movie of his life.
Well, he is our hero, good old Steve
God,
Porter.
I love Steve.
He is, when we first meet him at YOLO University, he is sitting in what I guess I'd have to assume is taxidermy class.
Holy shit.
All of these students are sitting, researching. There's no teacher as far as I could tell.
Nope.
And they've all got stuffed birds next to them.
Exactly.
I mean, they're all ornithologists, I guess, or aspiring ornithologists. But
Yep.
Still, why do you need the stuffed birds there? Anyway, somebody comes in and gives him a letter, and Steve just stands up in the middle of class and goes, "Woo! Yeah, all right," and then walks out.
I've got to play the music for this shit. The music in this entire campus sequence is fucking great. Like, I just got so happy watching these scenes. Like, you know what it is? Those stuffed birds, when they were freshmen at the school, they get them as live birds. And then they keep them for a year. And then as sophomores, they murder the birds.
Oh.
And then as juniors, they stuff the birds. And then in senior year, they just stare at their work for the rest of that semester.
Isn't that when they like take the birds to do the senior prank? Like they put like panties on its head and put it on the quad. All the birds. Oh
man. See, you gotta be careful those pranks. They turn into slasher movies. But not this movie.
No. Well, we already kind of had our slasher scene. I mean, that whole opening sequence.
Why am I so jaded?
That whole opening sequence actually felt a lot like the beginning of The Prowler or something.
Yeah.
Just with a lot more birds and not good.
Oh, shit.
So...
we get to meet another of Steve's pal, rather. His name's Paul.
Uh-huh.
Paul is played by James Vilmeyer, and he has a picture of himself on IMDb because he's been in real movies.
Has he? Well, really?
Well, you know what I mean. Movies.
Yeah.
He was in FX, the series.
He's in Matinee. I like Matinee a lot.
I have never seen that. Is that good?
Oh, it's great. It's a Joe Dante movie.
Hey, I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen the Gremlins.
What?
No, I'm kidding. I've seen Gremlins.
Good.
Can I say Gremlins? I already did.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So the music cue when we see Paul and Steve walking together, it's a variation on the theme, but it kind of implies that they're lovers. Like, it's very sweet. They're talking about this grant that they've been given to do something, but with birds. Yeah,
they want to find the possibly extinct ivory-billed woodpecker. It's thought to be extinct. It's possible that it still exists. They have like contact information for a few people who like allege to have seen it in the same way that one alleges to have seen Bigfoot. So they're going to go track those people down. And they need grant money to do that, I guess, and a huge team.
Oh boy, They get a big group of people. That's great.
Yep.
God, I'm gonna faint.
Think you can handle it?
You think I can handle it? There's shit in the woods.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry I asked.
We meet Anne.
Mm-hmm.
This is Lara Wendell,
yes,
who plays Anne. She is someone that I've come to appreciate very recently. She's a German, but she worked a lot in Italian movies.
Yeah.
Such as Ghost House, which you may hear us talk about on this very show.
Ooh, you just might.
Bam. She was in Tenebrae. She was in something Midnight Killer, or You'll Die at Midnight, the Giallo.
Perfume of the Lady in Black. Ooh.
Oh, that's right. She was young Sylvia. Dude, now that is a career. She could have retired after that.
Yeah. I recently saw her in an art film, Michelangelo Antonioni's Identification of a Woman, which was like super long and very boring. But I thought it was going to be great because it stars Tomas Milian. It wasn't, but she has a great like little tiny scene by a swimming pool near the end that I really liked.
Oh,
so she could have been good even maybe if she wasn't in all those damn ghosts' house.
What I like about this movie is that because of the live sound, which, in case you don't know, a lot of Italian productions did not use live sound to save money.
Wait, a lot of?
Okay, none. None of them used it.
None of all of, yes.
They did not use live sound until much later, like years and years after everybody else. So it's a little off-putting to suddenly watch some of these genre films in the late 80s and hear live sound and just how bad they were at recording dialogue and how bad the acting is. Because the people would look good on camera, but man, they could not freaking act. However, Lara Wendell, although she has a little trouble with, English, she has the cutest voice.
Let's say she has trouble with words.
She's so cute.
Yeah.
She's still my favorite.
Hi, Ann. Did you have a nice summer?
Best ever. You?
Can't complain.
I should hope not. I hear they approved your project. Congratulations.
Thanks, Ann. Well, I guess I'll be seeing you.
I guess so. The witness is sending me to cover expedition.
Over my dead body.
Steve, I didn't think you still cared.
Ann, this is serious.
I was kidding.
Okay, take it easy.
Not about the expedition, though.
Forget it.
By the way, I've tracked down the last 3 persons to see the air bill.
She's good. I like her. I'm more partial to the character of Jennifer in this film.
Oh, yeah, the nerd.
Yeah, I like the nerd.
Yeah, she's the nerd. She's actually really pretty. They just have her dolled up as a nerdy character.
By dolled up, you mean they just put some big glasses on her and a frumpy, a button-up shirt. Yep.
So yeah, maybe I'll change it, not dolled up so much.
Dolled down.
There you go, dolled down. Yeah, she's pretty amazing. So Anne is on the school newspaper. She's the hard-hitting journalist for what is it called? Like the Watcher or the Watch?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I didn't
my
write
God.
it down.
She mumbles what it's called a few times.
Yeah.
The most important thing though is the frickin' teacher that runs the newspaper. Did you catch this frickin' guy? The guy with the cane?
Yeah, I remember him.
Oh my God. Like, he is so weird. Like, he's like telling her about this opportunity to go on this study with Steve and the gang, that she can report on what they find about that mysterious bird.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy just is definitely a local actor. He's not someone that they brought over from Italy. He is wretched in the best way possible.
And the journalist's work is done with patience and quiet determination.
What?
It's so good.
I like how he's inspiring his students for really hard-hitting bird journalism. It's going to make a riveting first-page story.
Fuck that. It's going to be the movie. They're going to make a movie of it.
God damn.
Called Raptors.
Yep, probably.
What is there's a t-shirt that, what's his name? Steve is wearing. I didn't notice it till much later. It was the LSU Raptor Rehabilitation Unit.
Nice.
Yeah, that's where we're going with this. We're taking the bird all the way. We meet Rob, the pervert computer guy.
Okay. Throughout the entire movie, the only person whose name I got down was Steve and Jennifer. So okay, that's actually 2 people. So
I know you now. I know your favorites.
People. Those are my favorites. So I'm glad to know that the pervert's name is Rob.
Yes, he's played by James Sutterfield, who, don't bother. I mentioned his name for no reason. This guy, Rob, is amazing. He'll be using the giant laptop computer, which is more like a floor top. You'll break your legs if you try to put it on your lap. But he's making a sex video game. Why he's part of the Bird Finder crew, I have no idea other than his computer skills. Yeah. There's seriously a video game of 2 animated characters fucking.
Calling them characters is generous.
Stick
they are stick figures going at it doggy style. And Rob says, quote, "I can't get it to look real."
And he's been working on it all summer. What the fuck?
And he says that he's doing it, quote, "not for fun, son, for money." And you know what we don't see is that later on he puts a plumber hats and overalls on his creations, and he becomes a billionaire.
Oh my god.
You know, we're fed this lie that Nintendo is a Japanese company, but really, you know, say the word out loud. Nintendo!
Oh my god.
It sounds very Italian. And come on, they're Italian plumbers.
That's
I'm
right.
just saying.
Straight out of Loyola.
Straight out of YOLO.
Oh my god. So as we're gathering more of these people, get like we said, the nerdy Jennifer.
Yes.
Who's played by Lynn Gathright.
Yeah, who doesn't have she doesn't have much to her career, but she was just recently in the latest season of American Horror Story.
Yep. In the Tupperware Party Massacre episode even.
But she's got pictures of herself on IMDb and she looks good.
Yeah, she's making a comeback, y'all.
Yeah.
She probably just doesn't care about all the hype behind this movie, and she just want to get away from all the fans of ZV, KBR.
Yeah. It's also, confusingly, that's also the call letters for a radio station in Louisiana.
Oh my god. We meet Brian, the park ranger. I believe he's a park ranger. Who's going to take the gang out to find the bird.
Right, so he is a park ranger. I'm good that we've established this.
He looks like a security guard, but I think that's supposed to be...
He does, a little. But it's important that we establish that he is ostensibly an authority figure for later on.
Holy crap. He's totally a scumbag. It's laughably ridiculous character that's going to lead them out into...
into the death trap that is the Louisiana Bayou.
Yes.
I guess, or more like the Louisiana forests.
What's really funny is in the van, the topic of conversation with all these people. We got a couple other characters we'll talk about later, a couple other kids. But the conversation is they're concerned about Anne and her article. And they're talking like, what if we don't like what Anne writes about us?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How is this conversation in a fucking movie at all? It's so weird. It's beyond weird.
They are worried, because they're all part of the research team. They are worried that she's going to scoop them and that their academic paper isn't really going to get any of the press it deserves when they find that fucking bird, the ivory-billed woodpecker.
Man, was it Windward and Bernstein? Woodpecker? No, just woodpecker and bird. I forgot that article.
Holy shit. Woodpecker and birdseed. Fuck, that's good. God. Just edit everything out so it looks like I came up with that out of nowhere, because it's
I will.
brilliant. Okay. Or just leave what we just said in. That's fine.
That was brilliant. I'll definitely not edit where I got the real names wrong. It's like that President Nixob. He was a real jerk.
Nixob.
I don't know.
Hi. Yeah, that'll be great. We can handle the rest. Oh, State says I gotta go along. Keep an eye on things, take care of the motor. Anything happens, Well, I'm sure we can manage. Whether you can or can't, camper goes with me. Call me Brian.
We finally get to Robert Vaughn. Jeez. Why is this taking so long to get to Robert Vaughn, man?
No, I want to go back.
Oh, please do.
Just because
we're not ready for Robert Vaughn.
No, I'm not ready for him at all. I got to talk about this score, man. The score changes up pretty radically in the second half, but for the first half of the movie, it's like light jazz, you might say. Yeah. I would think it's like stolen straight from like the Home Shopping Network, or like maybe one of those old like channel listings stations where like, you just hear all that music as the listings run past.
That's beautiful.
It plays like a lot throughout this beginning part, and there's one shot where a team member is seen rocking out on his headphones.
Oh, yes.
But this music is playing over top of it, so it looks like he's listening to this and getting really into it. I like that moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Then we can go to the abandoned house that they go to, but it's not abandoned, actually, because, Robert Vaughn's there.
We meet him. He is Dr. Fred Brown, and he's blind. And
unfortunately, a bird threw acid in his face, I guess.
Yes. The scars that are supposed to be the ripping of the eyeballs out looks mysteriously like acid in the face.
On the Wikipedia page, you can learn that that Robert Vaughn was originally supposed to wear blue contact lenses, and this part's really funny, and his eyes were to be digitally removed in post-production in 1987.
No.
However, the contact lenses were way too painful and kept falling out, so Joe DiMaggio just threw that shit on him instead.
Damn right. Robert Vaughn, he really didn't have any kind of a career. This Killing Birds was just the only thing he ever did.
Yeah. Robert Vaughn, he's, you know what they say about him? He's a real Timothy W. Watts.
Nice. Okay, just kidding. Robert Vaughn, still alive, still working. Over 230 credits on IMDb.
It's been a little busy, yeah.
Oh my god, it's insane. I'm curious about just the horror stuff. Let's see. Because I'm single-minded.
Yeah. What sort of horror stuff was he in? I know I've seen him in so much, but I can't remember.
Jeez. He was in The Demon Seed. Chud 2, Bud the Chud.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah, he was.
Transylvania Twist. Oh.
Yeah, he picked the good ones.
Buried Alive. Something called Witch Academy.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
And some other various horror TV stuff, like Thriller and Deadly Nightmares.
Nice.
And, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There's your Robert Vaughn.
Yeah.
Slumming it. Oh my God, beyond slumming it. His character in this movie, he's referred to as the John Milton of bird science.
No way. Do they really call him that?
No, I just wrote that in my notes. That's what I said he was.
Well, it's brilliant.
Oh, thank you. Because he's in the Devil's House.
You might also call him the Roy Orbison of bird science.
Oh shit! But also blind.
Yeah. Or he looks a little bit more like Roy Orbison, but you could also call him like the Stevie Wonder.
So yes, that's very true. Anne and Steve go in to meet him and ask him about his reports of having not seen but heard the bird, because the bird is the word. Bird is the word. He's a real dick to Anne. She tries to give him a hand, and he does not like that. He says, "I don't need your help, Missy. I'm not afraid of the dark."
and he doesn't want to feel her face either. He's all over Steve's face.
He's got to touch Steve's face. Oh, man. I just want him to touch my face. All of the exposition in this fucking shit is so amazing. Like, this is just great stuff. While he's looking for a map where he reported his findings of the bird, there's a photo in a desk drawer that's of a couple and their baby, and Anne gets very excited about this photo, but Steve kind of like, hey, shh, keep, save it for when we leave the room, because I don't want to talk about this stuff with him.
And Robert Vaughn's like, what's the matter? Cat got your tongue? And, Steve just says, no, the cat's got a bird. Sorry.
That was pretty good.
It was the best I could do.
Bird's got your eyes. We find out that Dr. Fred Brown's family disappeared. They were not horribly murdered.
No.
He actually managed to cover up the crime.
That's so insane to me. He was... okay, let's just figure out how this is even fucking possible. All right, so he's ineffectually cleaning, like not even cleaning, just spreading around some blood with a sponge when birds come and rip his fucking eyes out. So he's now blind, holding a sponge covered in blood. His whole house is covered in blood. There's dead bodies all over the place. How can he possibly cover this up? It doesn't make any sense.
Criminal mastermind.
We see him being fucking arrested, as he should be. What the fuck? I don't care.
They were the community like service officers, just come and help out at-risk kids and blind people.
And the blind.
Yes. They were
they also like rescue birds from trees.
What are they
in
called?
Their downtime.
What are those servers? They're called servers, the ones that serve you like divorce papers or
process servers?
Yeah, they were just process servers.
What did they serve him with? The baby?
Enjoy.
Are you Dr. Fred Brown? Well, this child is yours.
I'm not afraid of the dark. They leave with this map to figure out, where he saw the bird, heard the bird, because he records the bird calls. This is really important to the movie, everybody. He records the bird calls with a tape recorder and listens to them, and he can tell where the bird has been, how hot it is outside, all by the variations in the bird calls.
It's the bird whisperer.
Oh, snap. Wouldn't he just be the bird tweeter? Or is it Twitter?
I think he's a tweeter.
He's at Blind Brown.
That's his nickname. He's like, hey, everybody calls me Blind Brown.
He's also a jazz musician.
Yeah, well.
Oh no, excuse me, blues, because we finally get to the harmonica.
Oh yeah, that's the next scene.
Oh fuck.
What's the name of the guy who is the park ranger?
His name is Brian.
Brian, fucking Brian. Brian is wailing on this harmonica so hard. Another funny thing happens in this case when the music on the soundtrack kind of like syncs up with the harmonica playing, and it looks like he's blowing like this soft jazz out of his harmonica.
Yep. But he's jamming, man. He's rocking out to it. It's awesome.
Big time.
While this musical atrocity is happening, they have this great montage of them looking for the bird, doing their little research and everything. Oh, it's wonderful.
And we see that Steve and Anne are starting to flirt a little bit. I guess there's some history between them. We kind of skipped over that, I think. Like maybe they dated at some point.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, they know each other, and they're kind of like, like he's not thrilled about.
That's right.
About her coming on the journey because they have something between.
I buried that shit deep.
They did too.
It was too painful.
That's the problem. What do you think their first date was like?
Intelligible?
No, unintelligible.
Oh, sorry.
you got the wrong one. There's no way their first date.
I was just being really optimistic.
Like, she was just talking, and he was, like, holding up a recorder and playing bird sounds.
We haven't even talked about Steve's voice. Like, of all of, Lara Wendell's German, Italian, heavy accent, Steve is just unintelligible American.
American style.
He's got this great Southern accent that sounds either real or really fake. I can't tell.
Louisianian.
He just pops out these hilarious things that he says. Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah.
They go for a walk after all this in the soft focused forest.
It's so gauzy. They took like a quick Vaseline bath before. Like they found a pure Vaseline spring and they all just took a dip.
Joe D'Amato's like, oh shit, I forgot the fisheye lens I use on every movie I shoot. You guys got any Vaseline I can use? And of course, both Rob the perv and Brian the scumbag had, their own tubes of Vaseline they bring.
Tubes? Their whole sacks were just full of it.
Does it come in tubes or is it jars?
It's usually jars.
How do you know that? You're a sicko.
I wouldn't know that.
You're sick.
I'm just guessing.
I'm just getting some out of my tube right now.
So this soft focus walk through the woods is the stupidest fucking thing in the movie because they come across this rusted out Jeep. I think it's a Jeep or it's a truck. I don't know. It's a car.
Yeah,
it's rusted all to hell. They open up the door of this car and a fucking festering corpse falls out.
Yep.
Like it's almost mummified corpse. It's an old corpse. And their response to this is to walk away.
Someone actually screams, "Let's get out of here." And then they walk away. Like they don't go back and report it. No. They keep going on their thing. Like, oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, they act like they're walking across the fucking Sahara Desert or something.
Yep.
And
That's
that's
what
just
you
like,
learn at
you know
YOLO.
what? Sometimes you walk through Louisiana and this just happens. You gotta just accept it and move on. People die. One guy's the fucking forest ranger or whatever, and he's like totally negligent in his duties.
Let's go. Get out of here. Come on. Come on. Let's get out of here. Come on. Poor bastard. We gotta keep going, or else we'll end up the same way. How come nobody else found that guy before we did? Nobody comes down this way. So that's why we have to find a camper fast.
Oh man, it's so funny. It's so good.
That's upsetting. I'm upset.
Because we need to get to the house. We do get to
the house, yeah.
The abandoned, or is it, house.
Yeah. None of these houses that look abandoned in this movie are actually abandoned.
They start exploring the house, and down in the basement, Brian and I'm thinking Rob or somebody, they find the generator, but they don't know what it is at first. And the guy's like, what is this? Brian says, it's a generator. And then the other guy says, it looks like it hasn't been used for centuries.
Oh my god. Do you think that they think that what generators, like the purpose of generators is you have sex with them?
Because that's exactly what he does.
That's what they're thinking. That's what they're wanting. And that's what they might do.
It's a generator.
But it hasn't been used for centuries.
Oh my god. They fire up the generator get some lights in the house. Oh man. There's a bunch of birds flying around outside, which is just fucking great. Anne and Mary. Now, we haven't talked about Mary yet, because she's completely inconsequential. She's just in the crew.
Yeah, I remember how she dies.
Yes.
That's about it, though.
There's the things about Mary are that she's really pretty, and she has almost no dialogue in the movie. She was played by Leslie Cumming. She was also in Witchery, which, holy shit, if you haven't seen Witchery, oh my god. Yeah. They're talking about the birds. They're looking out the window. They're talking about the birds, and it's total gibberish. Leslie Cumming, no way. I don't know where she's from, but she's not from anywhere where English would be a first language. And it's so funny just to hear these two try to talk to each other. I wrote that we need an Italian to English dictionary. Oh, the cuckoo clock's my joke.
I liked it, yeah.
The gang hangs out. We get some really great... This is when it hit me about the live sound. Like, the live sound is so awkwardly done. It's like you hear more of the room than anything else. Oh, I love it. Steve starts to walk around, and he ends up in what I call the negative zone.
He's just walking around this house. He imagines Robert Vaughn there, clacking along with his blind stick. I think that's what they're called. My favorite part of this is he envisions, what's her fucking name? Anne? Yeah. Anne.
Yes.
He envisions Anne crucified on the wall.
I have a question for you about that.
Yes.
Is she the ungodly warlock?
Sounds like one. Because
if that isn't a Beyond reference, then I don't know anything. It is not only is it the same exact position as Schweik is nailed to the wall, but it's even like the exact same spikes. Like they look like the same spikes.
I feel so stupid for not picking up on that because it doesn't really make any sense. Why is she crucified there on the wall?
Yeah. I also wrote, is Anne Jesus? But I think she's the ungodly warlock.
Yeah, seems fair to say.
Oh, we get his zombie mom.
Yeah.
There's a great moment where zombie mom she says, "Stevie, your bottle's ready, boy." And she turns around, she's all fugly. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's supposed to come as a surprise to us, like
Not
right near the end of the film. But Steve is the baby.
Yeah.
The circumcised baby from earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's him.
I recognize the foreskin or lack of it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Also, his friends have disappeared. Like we see them hanging out in the room, and then he walks into that room and it's empty. It was, frankly, the most chilling thing I've ever seen. The most deftly handled horror sequence in the 80s. I'm serious. Also, I'm not serious.
You're not serious.
This is really bad.
Well, they all decide that they're going to spend the night at this creepy place.
Yes.
And Steve isn't like, this is
Thank
probably a
God.
bad idea. He's like, yeah, I'll probably sleep very well here tonight.
He's freaking out.
Yeah. But to himself.
We get some sexy time with Mary and Paul. Unfortunately, it doesn't go too good. They play that really famous Dead Kennedys song, Too Hot to Fuck.
Everybody is
What?
like so oily.
Everyone is sweating and sweating. And I seriously was waiting for a sex scene because, it's the 80s and it's Italian and it's horror. But they just lay around on each other like it's like a Tennessee Williams play or something. And it's awesome.
Absolutely. I feel bad saying that it's like sweat and oil because it's probably just residual Vaseline. So we shouldn't be too hard on them. That stuff just is hard to get off. I wouldn't know, but I've just heard that it's hard to get off.
Tell Rob and Brian I said thanks for the lend.
Well, they've got more.
Man.
They've got more. Don't worry.
Speaking of Rob, his computer shorts out and we get some great graphics of his computer. Oh man, I didn't know that like computers in the late 80s just had giant like Arial font,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You
Takes up the whole screen.
You can fit 17 characters on your computer screen.
Yeah, Twitter was based after that computer.
Twitter's a luxury compared to this fucking computer.
True.
And Steve jokes. Steve says, "Oh, maybe it just needs a good night's sleep." And Rob
Wink,
gets
wink.
fucking mad at him and like yells at him for making fun of his computer. I was just joking.
It's very computer sensitive.
Oh my god.
I don't take a lot of notes at this point. The next thing I get is Jennifer's big scene. I don't know if you had anything before that.
Mary has a nightmare, and she gets creeped out. I can't remember what happens in her nightmare, but she wakes up, and what's his face? Paul is asleep, and she's looking around. She goes to the window, and she's watching Jennifer, the nerd, walking around outside, and suddenly Jennifer is attacked. But she's being attacked by something that Mary can't see. So you just see Mary like backing away from this like zombified figure walking towards her.
Right.
And then Jennifer gets her face bashed into the wall.
Poor Jennifer. I like her so much.
I
She's
know.
so cute. And I'm just sick of all these fucking zombie bullies. The whole time that he's smashing her head against the wall, he's just yelling out, "Nerd!" And
Yeah,
it's just
I know.
Rude.
She should have thrown popcorn in his face.
Should have.
There's a reference that we'll never talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's real, man. Finally, when Jennifer is killed, although it's weird, she is almost alive later.
She like twitches. I thought she was going to come back as a zombie, and I was like,
Denied.
she's still pretty cute as a zombie.
Hey, we do get a couple of great things that don't happen in this movie.
We got to talk about these zombies though, because they look a little bit more like mummies. They're like really,
Yeah, they've been around a while.
They're really rotted. I looked through one of the books in my film book collection. It's called Eaten Alive: Italian Cannibal and Zombie Movies. It's It's edited by Jay Slater, but it's got a bunch of like not so great reviews by a whole bunch of other people. And I read the one on killing birds, and it was boring. It's by a guy named Cliff Pounder.
Cliff.
Cliff Pounder sounds like he could be a character in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He really likes the generator. Cliff Pounder, like real Cliff Pounder. I'm sorry I'm saying these things. I don't know you.
It's just my pen name.
I don't know how you feel about generators. Anyway, he does say one funny thing in his review, and he compares I like whenever an Italian zombie's head is compared to something. When I compared those zombies in Nightmare City to looking like meatball faces.
Yeah.
Like,
Classic Jeffrey.
It was a classic Jefficism. I think is what they're called.
Nice.
But he says that these zombies in this film look like shrunken prunes, something like that. That's pretty good.
They'll keep you regular.
You gotta eat your zombies.
Oh God. This is when we get one of two, the looking for Jennifer sequences.
Yeah. They look for the next like 20 minutes.
Holy shit. The meat in the looking for Jennifer scene sandwich is Brian bursts into flames. Brian is looking for Jennifer, and all of a sudden there's flames on the ground following him, and then he catches on fire.
Yes, he does.
And just runs.
I did not know what was happening here. From the Wikipedia plot summary, which is really a really helpful resource. It says that the generator was leaking like gasoline or something.
Oh, that was the dripping.
It lit on fire, and then it just caught him on fire.
That is not obvious at all. Thanks, directing and editing.
Here we have one of many scenes, and we'll get more subsequently, of people just watching other people dying and not being super upset about it or trying to help in any way.
No, not at all.
So Brian is on fire, and everybody just kind of watches. And I think that they're asked by some of the other people who weren't there, like, why didn't you do anything? And it's just like, we just couldn't stop him.
Yeah, he ran. Oh man,
he had to burn, man. He had to burn bright.
That's exactly what it is.
So
Holy
weird.
Shit. It's great. Like we were saying before, we see Jennifer. She's kind of like obscured by the stairway outside. She clearly looks like she's alive, or like Jeffrey said, about to become a zombie. We're denied this moment for some reason. Now they're all trying to get back to the camper, which it's not a camper. It's a van. Yeah. It's not even a camper van or a camper van Beethoven.
Take the skinheads bowling, take them bowling.
It's not that.
No. We have this great stuff. Mary and Paul reach the van first. Everyone's running for the van. They get in the van first. Well, people are still looking for Jennifer, I think. And Paul and Mary lock themselves in the van and fucking freak out. Like, the overacting with them too is great. I actually wrote in my notes, will you two calm the fuck down? Everyone gets in the van. Rob jumps into the driver's seat and is trying to hotwire the van. Mm-hmm. Everyone's very supportive of him. Yeah. In fact, someone yells, "Come on, Rob, you can do it."
But then he gives up and he leaves, right?
Exactly. No one drives that camper anywhere.
Well, Rob leaves because he realizes he left his computer inside.
Oh, shit.
Remember? He says, "I can't leave my computer. You don't understand. You just don't understand."
We're getting out of here. Come on. Wait a minute. My computer. I can't just leave it here.
To hell with your computer!
Oh, you don't understand. You just don't understand. Come on, Rob.
I think that what's going on here is that, you can't just draw stick figure porn.
You have to live it.
You gotta see it live, man. And this is the fucking 80s we're talking about. Flip books are so out.
Oh, man.
So,
totes.
It's a lot of hard work
that
he's got going on there. It doesn't want to... But I do also need to point out that the only time that someone goes back or tries to help someone or thing, it's a fucking inanimate object. It's a computer. You go back for the computer, not for your burning friend.
No. Or when the zombie punches through the back windshield and pulls Mary out the back, we get her neck skin ripping.
Yeah.
And I thought her head was going to come off. Big letdown. The prosthetic that they made for her neck skin tearing as they're trying to pull her back in, the zombie's trying to pull her out. The prosthetic fucking snaps.
Yes.
And we see her bare neck with just a little bit of blood on it. Yeah. And it's a huge mistake they leave in the movie. Instead of cutting away quickly like every other gore scene, they had to show the neck snapping. And it's like...
I think they were very much just like, good enough.
Fuck it.
Use your imagination.
They go inside, and someone actually says the computer might have some suggestions on how to help them out of this. Oh, shit.
And then they all gather around the computer and turn it on, and it's just the stick figures going at it again.
Now we know what we must do.
I see it all now.
We must propagate the new human race right here.
That's the only way we can stop the zombie uprising. We must live on.
So they start talking about who is attacking them. And the first theory is that they're just some swamp people.
Just your normal run-of-the-mill Louisianan swamp people.
Oh, it's so fucking funny. It's so good.
We get a good dialogue exchange. Someone asks, how can anyone live in the swamp?
Yep.
And somebody responds, maybe they're not really alive.
You mean like lost souls? Oh, fuck. Anne laments that she wished she'd been nicer to Jennifer when she was alive. And I wrote, why bother? Nerd.
No, don't you be a bully too.
I didn't say it. I got bullied. I'm going to take it out on other people.
But how can anyone live in the swamp?
Live? Maybe they're not really alive.
You mean lost souls who can find no peace? There's no such thing.
Paul and Rob go down to the basement because the lights have gone out, and they get the generator started again.
Mm-hmm.
The doors burst open, and it's just a smoke machine and a light on the other side. But Rob is distracted and gets caught in the fucking generator.
What is it that gets caught in there?
I think it was his whistle that was on a string around his neck, and he gets pulled in. It just goes on, and Paul, again, is a big help.
He's just
watching.
Standing there watching.
Oh, God, it's so good.
And when he's asked later what happens to wait, which one dies?
Rob, computer guy.
When Paul is asked how Rob died, Paul just says, "Oh, it's the zombies." Definitely the zombies that got him.
Yeah, they totally got him. Just don't go look. Don't go look, whatever you do. The computer upstairs, meanwhile, the computer beeps and a message goes across it. It says, "Welcome home, Steve."
and of course, I think it's Anne asks, "Hey, what could that mean?"
Fucked if I know, bro.
It's just that, I see now why they went back to save the computer. It's a really polite computer.
Oh yeah, it's very sweet,
very welcoming.
A zombie bursts through the paper wall and grabs Anne. Paul is a big help as he watches.
It's kind of what he does. He's a peeper.
And this is great. Somebody finds a shotgun in the fireplace. And the shotgun
where you
is
store them.
It's waved around and never used. They couldn't afford any blanks. For once they didn't just use live rounds like they usually do.
Steve just kind of like flails the shotgun around instead of doing anything. Like he doesn't even like use it as like a bat or something.
Yeah.
Just flails it like scary.
So the three get away from this zombie. It's Anne, Paul, and Steve. They run upstairs to the attic, and Paul is killed. And I happily report this, Antropophagus style. Jody Amato's like, just reuse that scene. It's been like 7 years since that movie.
Nobody remembers.
They're in the attic, and the zombie breaks in through the ceiling and grabs good old Paul and drags him up through the ceiling, and you think it's about to rip his head off? No, of course not.
Well,
but he definitely dies.
It's so disappointing. We just want one decapitation.
What's funny is they're standing around waiting for it to happen. That was my favorite.
Oh yeah. Again, there's just so much standing, waiting for people to die because their deaths don't come quick enough.
Exactly. They never do for me. Hold on, I just spilled water all over myself.
Oh.
God. I was just too into our discussion, man.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh my god, now I'm all wet for different reasons.
Yeah, I'm covered in wet.
It's all the oil. It's all that Vaseline on the lens. Okay.
Yeah, I'm rubbing it in right now.
They waited out until morning when Dr. Brown shows up to rescue them.
Yeah, it's a lot like a spaghetti western in this moment. You hear the tap, tap, tapping on the horizon, and we know that blind dude's coming.
Oh, that's right. Blind man.
Blind man's coming.
Apparently, his trauma to his eyes has completely cleared up. He just has sunglasses on with no makeup. So fucking funny.
It kept slipping off of Robert Vaughn's face, so they had to do something. He says a really funny line, and that's, "Glad I got here in time."
I'm glad I got here in time, son. There's no need to be afraid.
It's pretty questionable. I think he actually got here pretty late.
His speech is just great. It's like, they won't hurt me. I'm not afraid of them. Hamana hamana blah.
Yeah, this them. He's really blaming it all on them. And we don't know who them is.
Isn't he really the cause of all this? Yes.
Yes, he is. He is, of course, Steve's father.
Yep.
Duh.
Major revelation.
He tells us that all of the things we've been seeing, all of the deaths and whatnot, the zombies, even the birds, I guess, are not real. They're instead projections of fear, and that it was fear that killed all of their friends.
Yeah.
And that it's not entirely clear why fear is doing this, because fear doesn't want them, really. I guess like they're appetizers for fear, because fear just really wants to eat up Robert Vaughn.
Nom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they leave. Anne and Steve leave the house, and they're walking away, and we see the birds flying superimposed over the house, and we hear Dr. Brown scream, and we know that his little theory did not work, and he's apparently murdered, or he's just tired of being in the movie. I don't know.
Well, isn't that his theory anyway? That they're just going to kill him, and that's going to be...
Oh, is that? I don't know. I just liked it. The movie freeze frames on Anne and Steve, looking very traumatized. And let's hope they're going to go and make a little Steve and start it all over again when she has an affair.
Oh, God. When he has to go off and fight in Iraq.
It'll be killing birdses.
Killing birdsies. I do like that the final freeze frame of this movie is a little bit like, you can read the expressions on their faces, and it's what the hell just happened faces.
They're just speaking, they're just making our face. Oh, shit. Jeffrey, how do you like this one?
When you boil it down, what is killing birds? What is in a killing birds? I mean, birds don't die in this movie, so it's not that instructional hunting video I thought that it might be. It's not even like if you take bird as a slang for young woman, it doesn't really make sense in that regard either. Because yes, some young women do die, but also some young disgusting men die too, and they're not birds, so that doesn't make sense. Birds kill exactly one person in the movie, and it happens off screen. So they're not like killer birds. But if this movie was about killer birds, it would just be called Killer Birds, not Killing Birds. It doesn't make any sense. So, and anyway, those fucking birds aren't even really birds anyway. They're just fear projections or whatever. So, what is this movie?
It's Zombie 5.
No, it's not. This is a zombie movie in like the same way that it's a killer bird movie. It's not. It is actually absolutely insane. This movie has two totally different titles that imply totally different things, and both of them are outright lies. What this really feels like is another La Casa film. It feels like a Ghost House, or it feels like Witchery.
It's Birdhouse.
It's Birdhouse, man. Why didn't they just fucking call it Birdhouse?
Oh, shit.
I think it would probably have a slightly better reputation if that was the case. But because it is called Zombie 5, people hate this movie.
Yes.
But absolutely. As a La Casa film, I think it succeeds. in that it's just stupid enough. It's that mishmash of all of these recognizable horror tropes, and also, like, obviously, as we've seen, specific scenes and images from various Italian horror films. They're endearing because they're not super confidently or creatively executed. They're very poorly executed, in fact, and that's endearing to me. The first time I watched this movie, I've only seen it twice. I really did not like it at all. But the second time, it went up half a star on my Letterboxd profile. I give it 3 bird seeds out of 5. So that's pretty good. It is briskly paced. Not much happens. We were able to skip through the second half of it pretty quickly in our conversation. Because it's just one death scene after the next, one very belabored death scene after the next.
Yes.
So I like it. I think it's got kind of a bad rap when it doesn't totally deserve it. I've seen much worse. Richard, how do you feel about the birds who kill?
This was my first viewing of this film ever. I have been avoiding this for a long time, just because, like you said, its reputation is awful. People despise this film and have written off. So I had it in a collection, the zombie pack with Zombie 3 and Zombie 4, After Death.
Right.
Or is it Afterlife? No, it's After Death.
After Death.
And so I just never watched this until it was on our lists. But man, I gotta say, I freaking like this movie a lot.
Sure.
It's, I'm a big fan of Joe D'Amato's horror films.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much of his porno films. But I was excited to see that he shot this. He was a cinematographer, and that he at least had some part in just in directing this bad boy.
Yeah, he apparently finished it. Because our director here, whatever his name is, Claudio Lattanzi, is a one-and-done director.
Yes.
Killing Birds was his one shot. He was assistant director on a couple other movies like The Church, and then some more of Joe D'Amato's, like Ghost House and Stage Fright.
Apparently, according to Joe D'Amato in the Spaghetti Nightmares book, he said that he identified Lattanzi as Michele Soave's assistant. And he also said that Michele Soave was supposed to direct Killing Birds when he very smartly, and actually Joe D'Amato says this, that he took the offer from Argento to do The Church. And he said, why wouldn't he take that opportunity?
Yeah. Wow. I would be super interested to see Killing Birds as done by Soave, though.
Absolutely. Me too. That's the first thing I thought of.
I don't know if it would be any better, but it would be interesting.
I really like the atmosphere that kind of happens accidentally or by design from D'Amato. The acting is horrible, but gloriously so. The script is dumb as balls, as we've pointed out multiple times. And gotta give a shout out to them for using the same house from The Beyond at the beginning of the movie.
Really?
Yep. Trivia says that is the house that they filmed part of The Beyond at.
Huh. How about that? Oh, I guess because that was filmed in Louisiana, too.
Exactly. The score by Carlo Maria Cordio sounds so freaking familiar, but I think it's because it reminds me of the score from The Church, also directed, by The Sect by Michele Soave, and it also sounds like the freaking music from Enigma, which Brad and I just covered.
Yeah, this guy worked extensively with Joe D'Amato, working on all of the Filmirage films.
Nice.
Well, most of them, at least.
Did you watch the Robert Vaughn interview on the disc?
I actually don't have this movie on
oh my god. Okay.
DVD, so
if you want to know even less about Killing Birds,
there's no way that Robert Vaughn has any memory of making this film.
He talks about the prosthetics because they were uncomfortable.
Oh, really?
And, yep.
Wow.
He talks about his entire career and family. And then he talks about how quickly this film was shot, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So yes,
Sounds about right.
Other than the discomfort from trying to wear the makeup, which he didn't even keep on for that much of the shooting.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure that this was a quickly filmed film.
Yes.
Like they shot it probably super fast in like a week or two. But Robert Vaughn is not the one to ask because he was definitely only there for a couple hours on Monday.
Yes.
So,
oh God,
he is not the authority figure, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't recommend this movie so much. If you're scraping the bottom of the barrel with Italian horror, as we obviously are, I think you'll be surprised. It definitely is better than it's led. People have led us to believe.
Yeah,
led
absolutely.
You to believe.
If you are a barrel scraper,
yes,
you have found a Vaseline-coated quasi-gem.
Yeah,
You can't tell if it's a real gem because of all the Vaseline coating it, but you wipe a little bit of off, it shines. Yeah,
you should get that set, man, if you still can. Zombie 3, Zombie 4, and 5. It's worth having.
I've got Zombie 3. You sent me that, so I'm good.
Oh, snap. I'm hooking people up.
I don't think I need Claudio Frgrasso's Zombie 4.
Oh, man, if that movie was just 10 minutes shorter, it'd be a classic. It just drags.
I actually haven't seen that one yet. I've seen all the other zombies. No,
you're looking forward to it having a great setup and some great moments, and then just 10 minutes of those moments repeated over and over again. It could do with a little trimming. I'll wait for the Jeffrey fan edit when you edit it from tape to tape.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You're going to copy it to VHS and then cut it. I know your skills.
Frame by frame.
Anything else to say about Zombie 5 Killing Birds?
Well, I don't recognize it by that title. I believe this film is called ZVKBR. And to answer your question, no.
You kept me in suspense there, thank you.
Nothing else to say about it. Other than, I'm so disappointed we never got to find out whether that damn, whatever it's called, I don't even remember its name, ivory-billed woodpecker exists or not. It's just,
it was just a manifestation of our fear of this movie.
Oh my God.
So it was very real for us.
It was just a fear pecker.
Oh my God. Is that what you call your penis? The fear pecker. No. Oh my God. Folks, I'm going to dig out my old love letters from Jeffrey. Because he totally called it his fear pecker.
No. Hold on. Fear pecker is definitely what, have you ever read James Joyce's filthy letters to his wife, Nora?
Yes, unfortunately.
They're amazing. And you know what? He calls her hi, my little fuck bird. So he definitely calls his penis at one point a fear pecker.
Wait a minute. James Joyce was practically blind at the end of his life. Do you think he was the Irish Dr. Fred Brown of writing?
Fred Brown was the James Joyce of birdology.
Birdology?
It's called ornithology, but it's birdology for short.
I like it.
When you shorten ornithology down, it's bird.
Oh, man. Is the fear pecker the cause of the boner of tears?
God. I'm gonna need a lot of Vaseline to figure this one out.
Oh. Thanks, Jeffrey. That was a lot of fun.
Hey, it was.
We know less about the movie than when we started, but hey.
I think that might actually be true. Ooh.
Yikes. Thanks for listening, folks. Have a great bird call summer.
Cacophony.
Ooh, nice.
Cacophony. It's a regular old cacophony.
Are you an actor?
No, I'm a performer.
Oh, nice. Do you go under the name Fear Pecker?
Rex Fearpecker is my full name.
Rex Fearpecker. Rex Fearpecker and the Tearful Boners.
Oh my God, that totally sounds like a fake name that an Italian would use. What? We need an American sounding name. How about Rex Fearpecker?
Oh my god.
Brilliant! Put it on the print.
Good night, folks.
If you would like to contact Hello, this is the Doomed Show. Please email us at doomedmoviethong@gmail.com or check us out at facebook.com/HelloDoomedShow. We are also on Twitter. Sorry about that. @DoomedMovieThong. #HelloDoomedShow. For the old ass episodes that you missed, find our archived episodes at doomedmoviethong.com. Don't forget to eat fruit and veggies.
Hello, my name is Rod Barnett.
I'm Troy Gwynn.
And we are your genial co-hosts for NashyCast, the podcast about the films of Paul Naschy. If you don't know who Paul Naschy is, you need to learn.
Spanish horror icon, writer, director, actor, makeup artist.
He is all of these things and more. Paul Naschy, one of the greatest genre filmmakers of all time. Do titles like Horror Rises from the Tomb,
Vengeance of the Mummy, Werewolf Shadow,
House of Psychotic Women,
Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll,
Mark of the Werewolf make you want to see more?
Watch the film, then come hear our stunning, brilliant commentary.
Stunning and brilliant. That's us. Think that's too egotistical? Think that sounds silly? Think we come off as assholes?
Look, if nothing else, let us tell you this. Blood, nudity, beautiful women, werewolves and turtlenecks.
Nipples. Lots of nipples. Both male and female. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's going to want to listen to us after this, man. Find us at The Bloody Pit of Rod, or
you can subscribe to us on iTunes.
Give us a listen. And if we scare you too much, well, maybe Spanish horror is not your thing. I don't know. 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 Horror is not your thing. I don't know.